One gentleman be a friend Joseph Blankson Awumadi where EC staff say amene kasewa petition President John Mahama say EC boss Jemensa Yempamono the deputies Desmond Bosman Asari sorry any Samuel Tete Yempamono mienu nyina ni nyina ne say omo ye incompetent na assembly by na twetwe nyama bebreba after the 2024 general election empanyifo bi ka asem bi fa EC panyino especially Jemensa emrena swana so obobe initiative process no in article 146 ne say ebe ya ombe yi to ase akonwa ama na to ahwefom se bubura ye de ho nsam ebrem ye bete papa ne nka enipa na wa petition EC boss Jemensa no akoy interview o asempa 94.7 FM de bebrem Asiedu Nketiah so ka asem bi fa maami ho sa so na Justin Kodua so akasem bi afa Jemensa ho ni nyina ebetodwa right here on Nana Janto TV de obeya ne say obe click subscribe button o we bell notification icon no na what turn on the video ni drop here you be the first person to get it but your video no share nyina no o believe you comment in the comment section afi wa share for front so anya bi ahwe yama makwaba de omni say EC boss Jemensa wa na submit me ahwe because see amene ka say abrantie bi EC staff Electoral Commission almost staff back your friend Joseph Blankson Awumadi wa petition President John Mahama His Excellency say EC boss no wanya di ntempam no sa enso na the two deputies Basman Asari and Samuel Tete or see yempam mienu nyina including EC panyina nkasa because they are incompetent na branch no kopiem e wa sempa 94.7 FM no minu yapanyi obi dwitwe nkomo and all provide details chale na some of the details we provided for me it was quite shocking say you interdicting nyina ama waye adwuma o EC officer since 2012 like 13 years in waye adwuma hono enti enwa na say EC na office home mo staff ni be petition president say yensake maame no menyen sabere nka me wakotie EC I'm sorry Joseph Blankson Awumadi ono na ye petitioner na or petition President Mahama say yensake EC boss Jemensa and then the big story the enkuti ne ba media say Nketiah ho sem bi so ebrel on same EC boss Jemensa Samson na Justin Kodua ho sem one say so this one is Joseph Blankson Awumadi on na petition President Mahama say yensake EC boss Jemensa.
The petitioner nipa or the petitioner comma president say only Electoral Commission Chairperson the two deputies. Now you ura Joseph Blankson. Mr. Blankson akwa ba ekosi saying so ni apom te saying
boko
ya danyamia say media report extreme one we staff of the Electoral Commission me pacho no kre
no kre pa
oh awaya adwuma we yisi ho ache
since 2012 January.
Since January 2012.
Yes.
Hey, as what watch pa in the headquarters one as our region and our district be.
No headquarters.
Hey. Headquarters was the one only EC Chairperson deputies in Nana wo.
I know headquarters.
And they were tough. We are tough. Ain't he one on such a petition na say how they come president. Na unyina so ne say anti wo say omampanyin hwe na onyi chairperson and the deputies here in free ho
when we say petition there the petition the content in there you don't disclose it because
sure.
That's a petition.
Sure, that's true.
According to article
146
yes. Of the 1992 constitution of the land.
Sure.
Until content there means when disclosed.
Yes.
Yes, but according to public statement I'm releasing here, no. Incompetence, ni chronism, ni other things also, and you all can see.
Into incompetence, chronism, and Sanyama, you win so.
But there's into detail to the president capacity now. There is detail, information inside.
Obey who details in your
Obey who details, yes.
Hey, but now that your name is out, do you feel safe?
No, I have even not been to the office for almost 2 years now.
Hey.
Yes, because of our office. And the 2 years, in court.
Indeed, are you under suspension and I say you were the answer a day?
Interdiction.
Oh, an interdiction.
Yes.
For pending further investigations, Anna.
Yes, not pending. We interdicted, no.
Yes.
The means and the national security. I'm almost to make national security for 3 days. Now, and you can put on the 3rd day, no. Mamina or one who say, until the bananka. And the or EC ho, so or no. The commissioners name members in the going to see the commissioners is almost whereabouts. And the one of the staff, Mamma, my lawyers, and I say, Monk national security, Namobano or and on the 3rd day number, and on Bahana, and on this lawyers in the count, and on union. And not Mammy who I will be there for only God knows. Yes, and after that, no, I'm going to make a court for 1 year. Now, 1 year court, EC lawyer, EC Mammy Nankata. Nobody from EC, 8 to 90 for 1 year. Let's not make a court every month. I'm a court. Michelle lawyers. And me 1 year now, I'm on back court. I'm need evidence behind it in Nasubiano. And I get 2 assembly to treat them. And I'm going to change a crap for 6 months. I said, Mamma, that's an argument. I invite me back to the office. None of them 6 months, 1 year. And I'm going to see you. Miss you almost no. Miss you almost no. I won't accept a rate, within that month. But after accepting rate, you are supposed to file your defense. When you can say 6 months, you almost file defense.
And I would want to believe, sir, what chronicles are you winning as part of our grounds, no, right? And I say they are completely different.
Completely different. But
is it also a case of sour grapes? And by sour grapes, I mean, say, on my year, on near my said, you can when in you in the yawn in now the actual petition way. Yeah, I get it. But say, yawn in Tino. What bibia would the general structural petitioners and America?
Yeah, that be
in this idea, still interdiction no and our service still.
Yes.
Now what drew retirement age now we new cry?
Oh, we do cry. A very young man.
Wow. But young fan is a sanka uko fie kakra and ebi omo resolve issues no and ye ka say anko wasen akọ back to adwuma wo ye wadwuma anka how the petition we be ko
anka me ko anka me ko patan
wow enti the other thing would be say now your expectation is say Omampenyin ebe trigger Article 146 process no against and clarify remember me chairperson and the 2 deputies and answer 1 deputy.
2 deputies.
2 deputies ni nyina.
Yes.
And a chairperson no.
Aye.
Eh. Those Omampenyin pam omo mi ensa nyina.
Mpatwan.
For incompetence any cronyism. Cronyism would mean say omo ye ebusuya asem ne namfo asem o.
What the content need them talking about bottle. Content need there. O the agency wa na Omampenyin ntaka document na ono anyanse mfundi baye.
And yes, everything you've stated in that petition or evidence to back it.
Eduwa.
And was there on the 2 months after until me busa. Yeah, until me busa. Mate. Yo yan so ya das nti bibia ne e be se ba bedin komo bio. Why? Yeah, that's it.
Abusafo Joseph Blankson awuma ji na wote ne nka no. Wo se ya interdicting no. Em say EC buy no 1 or 2 issues bi office on ma ama ya asake no. But also you see Ghana in politics na na some way o. Because shall I say ya o the staff the office no be petition yes say ensake no. And in the end she was sacked. I mean, I must say illegal because it went through the normal process as prescribed by the Article 146 of the 1992 constitution. But they will say, Obaka ya to abani we no say Nketiah so interviews be brave. I don't say James and wonyade nti yempamono. Ain odika kopie mo UTV. Oka no ho asem. Owie no kopie mo Joy News. And so okay, EC boss James and Wasem. Young sa 2 interviews. I think they're about 40 minutes. First on the UTV, we also copy more Joy News. The same EC boss James and the entire who say Mamini incompetent the answer after the election or the Hunsamu to. This one is Asiedu Nketiah, the national chairman of the NDC.
Krawa kase hai na EC no nyade nti EC yesese ofri ho nti sa kasa bi sa no so na mamo nkrofo no ne say ya anya wide na ya yankoye vigilante wo ho no mo anye ya EC betwa fufu afa yetiko ahye ye nu
David. In fact the abai kura EC ka ho na mana basa
how
because on family anya adwuma
enei
one family anya adwuma na o mo ka
ya odi so dia ye adwuma
hwe yemra wo ho ne say wa ye declare results e wo polling station we are asa court letimi esan dane no
okay
so
okay
sana yemra no wo oman from 92 to date
okay
afi we nko last year nko na ye declare election results wa EC no a ono an officers ye declare results no ono asan akotena ho aka say me officers no say ye share wo na wo declare nti ye nkodane be say 9 constituencies results e ho na asemu nyina free because any emra bia mu
in that instance nko be the obeka say
in that instance because o representative na wo ho a wa declare
okay
and the same EC here wo ho edibia the in all other elections apart from nano there yeah
no really
yes
e den tina nano there ni de oman fa animu
that is the point anything that make us say wo demra udru ha koto de an bodwe nyanya nche de ayemfa no kwa wo disa build the society ayi because say obi o say wa agency a wo mo agina ho wo di mo declare no what say frɛ wo mo say wo mo ase wo mo declare no under duress nti masesa no eno na dey all these cases by because say you under duress ya what you do ni say affected party eno no dey asem no ebeko the appropriate and say forum high court
okay
that is the law we know in this country
okay that's if it's parliamentary
if it is parliamentary they make you say parliamentary
okay
and no the share wo mo timi kotena ho san frefre say constituencies 9 be also ni nyina no ye nkofo no say under duress nti ye twan ye san koye recollation ye san koye that is the problem e ho start here
I see.
So, and no senka womo emma kwan say okay affected aggrieved party bia emfa procedure no so a ka de ba yi nyina bia ma
okay
enti eno eye EC for adwuma no a me complain hu da bia no enti me de wo ya de na eye papa me wo aban mu me wo position mu eye papa eye bone so a me wo aban mu me wo position mu eye bone na no abrekumade ya na o mo kan say NDC for say Electoral Commission ya de wo mo ye declaration yensan koye rerun Electoral Commission say ne wo yes ama say du Nketiah satisfy ne agya no ho na who told you so because say obomasum na da bia usoro be bomasum du na wa outside ba say du no mate so abanso a enti na wo say me nko kamfo say why ade
that is to say we call our year initially say so mo kono da so gina ho
me gina wa because bibi dia che say wo mo adwuma nso ani enti de by bebre because say amanfo wo gidie wo commission no mo a eno ankasa act to dampen some motivation to resort to other means no
I see
so enti ye gina no say no one say resetting the country no and now resetting the state institutions no interlinked
okay
so enti o seti menu miensa na uja third or fourth wire onye hwe until we must begin where we have begun Yentoa so ne reset these things nyina nenko because sa violence ni ne manema nyina yentalink
se court for we kase woni omo issue kai last time bia obaye ya moko hyperka yesi wakosre ebisa o se maame no se uba ase niama woni ne ye wo mebisa na se o mesreye mesre keke o se makosre na usu ni masama ameka na o se masre nti ema omunya perception se ase wo mpe yisi for na se dada
mesre wapam
Everybody
I mesre wapam then I just
you know what we say if you and yes I o madwen be your
na me say we
know Asiedu Nketiah no on pay asem from day one
na mimuna kire wo ma na nka me pe wo ma asem nipa o sire kire no se wo mpe ma asem enti nka me nkomu na kire wo enti the make say nipa no so ye onua o ye wadamfo wo de obia oni manage mensa enim say na madamfo pa no before ye point no man be ye bisa ni kunu bisa everybody
wo aye ho
me na me ka kire wo
okay
so madamfo pa ba madamfo no na ye de adwuma bia ma na onya no yi a mentra ho nka say wo ye madamfo ntima ye nka
So there was a poll by Global Info Analytics in April, trying to already give a sense of who may match in this transition that you're going to get into. And he says that in that, it says 25% in terms of when they actually the most likely, Jane, 2, 20% Haruna Idrisu, 3, 12% Atu Forcing, and then 4, 10% Asiedu Nketiah. I wonder if you saw this with Global Info Analytics.
I saw it, but I don't think the basis is right because you must know who wants to contest first before you go to test how they will perform. I'm not sure they spoke to anybody. They are just testing their grounds without talking to anybody. That's number one. Number two, something that is 3 years, 4 years ahead. I mean, you cannot be predicting what will happen in 4 years and so on. So it's a good exercise, but I don't think it is very, very useful in predicting who emerges as our flag bearer in 2027.
You say they must know who wants to contest first. That's Asiedu Nketiah want to contest?
We are not there yet. We are not there yet because we have responsibilities to undertake. And I've always been cautioning that there are certain things you don't do at certain times. For instance, we are trying to put ourselves together as a government to run the country and to discharge our obligations and deliver on our promises and so on. So immediately after you win elections, if you begin talking about who will be or how you are going to win the next elections, it could mean an insult to the population because they will take you to mean that after all, you are not interested in delivering on your promises at all, and that your objective is to win elections and govern. So, having won election, you have achieved your objective. So you are now thinking about achieving the next objective. So it is offensive to the population. And I said the same thing when, after 2020, I think immediately after 2020, B0MBSHELL's posters popped up. They started talking about breaking the 8 even when they have not even formed the government. So it created the impression that what do these people take Ghanaians for? Is it the case that their objective is just to win elections? So they have won one and they must be preparing to win the next one. So what happens to their promises of delivering better life for the citizens and so on? So you need to concentrate on how to deliver on your promises after putting in place your government first. So if you proceed along those lines and you are achieving, results, then you, and I mean, 1 year, 2 years to the election and so on, you begin thinking about how you are going to win the next elections. It's quite reasonable, but I think it is offensive to begin talking about how you are going to win the next election, who is going to lead you into the next election. That's why I've been cautioning. That said, you have another problem of cohesion in the government. If you begin dividing yourselves into campaign groups, how are you going to stick together to govern the country? The names that are being mentioned, somebody is a chief of staff, somebody is a minister operating under a chief of staff, somebody is a vice president, somebody is national chairman, somebody is this. If you present them as competitors, how do you run the cabinet? And anything any of them does could easily be construed to mean campaigning for himself or herself. So if a minister who is operating under a chief of staff, you go and pitch the minister against the chief of staff. If the chief of staff gives instructions and the minister claims that the chief of staff is tormenting him, that's why he's saying do this, do that, do that, do that, it can create problems. Or if the minister is undertaking a policy and the chief of staff construed it to mean that if he takes that, we implement that policy, it's going to work against my ambition and so on. There are a whole lot of challenges that could emerge if you prematurely just go out there shouting, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, I'm going to be this. That's why I think that it is early days yet. 6 months into the life of a new government, we should not be talking about who replaces President Mahama in 4 years' time.
And I note your overriding point is we are not there yet.
We are not.
Too early.
Yeah.
But I also note that you did not rule it out completely.
No. No serious politician rules out any position. It's known by, because it is ambition that drives politics. And if you rush to rule things out, you get to a point where you'll be at a corner where you regret having ruled out certain positions. If I want to demonstrate with my own life, to begin with, I never dreamt of going to Parliament.
Never?
Never.
What did you want to do instead?
No, I was a trained business guy, and I started marketing manager, bank manager, and all that, and stockbroker, and so on. So the thought of going to Parliament never crossed my mind at all until pressure began mounting from my own people that you have to do this, you have to represent our community to do this. Then you say, okay, let me do it for 1 year or 1 term, and then go and do something else. Then you do it, and everybody says you have done it so well that without you, we can't get a good replacement, so continue. That's why some of us found ourselves here as a national chairman of the party. I never planned to go to Parliament at all. I chose a different career path. But circumstances drew me to become a member of Parliament. And even as a member of Parliament, I never thought of becoming a General Secretary. So as a member of Parliament, if I had done a press conference to say that, look, I would never be a General Secretary in my life, it could have been a hindrance at the point where there was pressure for me to be General Secretary. And even as General Secretary, it was not in my plan to become National Chairman. But circumstances again pushed me to become National Chairman. So you don't rule out any other position. Today, if you ask me whether I want to be the General Secretary of United Nations, I will say, well, why not? It's a possibility. So that is why I don't think it is prudent for politicians to be ruling out.
Now, Asiedu Nketiah na yatin nkano. It looks like there's a trend. Both divides, MPP and this, more issue with Mameno. MPP for you two many we na coalition for some parliamentary seats are quite problematic, Not almost any brepa. General Secretary of the party, Justin Kodua from Paul. Also be a press conference be lashe Mamene party mensa say, Mami, you know share because NDC for so I'm so mepamoa and yet the old yen never more maintain. Enti kanokwana honto bi koye Kristo ni ono so Justin Kodua so say what to Jaffa Jemensa ho na me baba ma ono. But it looks like both device MPP ni NDC no money happy with Mameno more in office. Yenkote Justin Kodua so on EC boss Jemensa.
You should go for a rerun.
I mean, Johnson Asiedu Nketiah says the Electoral Commission is incompetent. They need to be reset. They are not fit for purpose. You must certainly agree now, considering your grievance with the Electoral Commission, or you disagree still?
Well, based on what is happening currently, I'm unable to even speak positively of the Electoral Commission because the inconsistency from their action even makes it difficult for me to even understand the decision that they have taken.
So
or
you
for
agree?
me to even criticize a person's perception about the Electoral Commission.
So you agree with Johnson Asiedu Nketiah?
Well, that's the point I've made. That I'm unable to even side with them. I'm unable to even defend them. Because if you cannot be consistent with your own decision, if you cannot be coherent, then it makes it difficult for people to even predict you. And that is where we are as a country. At least the Electoral Commission must have principle.
You think they lack that?
Certainly they do. Because of what we are witnessing at the moment. Because you cannot take a decision as a reputable institution like the Electoral Commission. They come back, make a U-turn. And you know elections, the stakes are always high. It's about life, people's lives. It's about integrity. It's about people's fortune. People have worked very hard to get to where they are now. And because of your inconsistency, you want to create tension, you want to create chaos in this country. It's a shame. It's a shame. You go to Parliament, House of Record.
The Ghana for say Mami Jemensa, Mami, you saw your Christian, you saw Passory, you saw Trodia, on to so. Debe na Cynthia, if we are very restored, Nketiah, Bekasi, and Pamuno, after what Sawano. Bibi Akoswana, and Komobia Koswana, and Wunabia Koswana, and Untina, Obeso Basisawano. Nemum, ye catcher on the say. Elpo opening down Paracradis for Pamono. And ye no Casa, Mamia was shed down at 13 years old, Chief Justice, or no credits for some Pamono. Say NDC, I don't want to know my mother's over Pamoma, or your Papa Momo, or your Bonnie Momo, or Mepamo. The mammy can the crown out on top. Mammy can the crown out on top. What kind of crown? Not uncle, NDC for Pamoa, and Chima Becca Jumari. Yes, and Chima Bedawasi. so aprenso o kan kure
Enti abusiafo Justin Fimpo Kodua, General Secretary of the MPP, ana otin in Kano. Yemfa dwuma de ni nsia, me sure say the next one Nana Kojo Janto the Sokata one obetin in radio on Nana Janto TV. But process ni be sha say as prescribed by Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution. Chebia, and a similar process was initiated. Yeah, former Chief Justice Getu Tokonu, ye ni twasia kunyama na toshi from say bura. Obi busa say ebetima to Jemensa na when I'm running Crabia and a betchere. But for now, process in the I think I don't know whether the president will give it a listening ear, make a petition free. Joseph Blankson or easy staff, Akakopim or presidency, you know, or B0MBSHELL committee near Shimna if she's found culpable, recommendation and stuff like that. Indeed, young fancy I, Madame Munas Samoshe, best anybody in